that.
Yeah, so there is the mismatch, as you identified, that on one hand, we are actually saying things have taken a bad turn. But on the other hand, we are continuing unabated, including, so remember it's on weekend that the president said they will be reviewing the measures and strongly implied that we might go back to lockdowns. But meanwhile, is leading the talk about school reopening. So there is no synergy between those two talks. They are headed, there are two vehicles headed different directions. I think that we will have to see what the talk is about. You realize that Magoha refused that there is no scaling down of schools. We are not going to close, and we are not going to ask them to leave. So I think that right now there is confusion, and it is hard to know which direction in terms of policy the government is headed. They are not seamless, they are not in the same page. We hope that at some point we can get clarity on the same. But there's a lot of confusion, I agree with you, and therefore we can decide.
So let me ask you, so there's a belief among Kenyans, and I'm one of them who believe that for them, the reason why they had to open schools was very simple. They had budget to do desks in order for sanitizers and masks, so they had to spend that money to create more COVID millionaires. And the other thing, there's no way you're going to allow BBI rallies to happen when schools are closed. So for them to justify having BBI rallies, they had to open schools.
You're giving them more benefit of doubt than those people can have lockdown and do BBI without caring.
I know
because that's what they did last time.
They're trying to be more decent in this time. Because Kenya is the only country in the world that has lost an academic year. The only country in the world where you have a guy called Professor Magoha, who is supposed to be like the most educated person, going by his 100-page CV of conferences that he has attended, but he has nothing between his ears. Because why can't you have measures? The guy had 8 months. The country locked down in March. The guy had about 8 months to ensure that there's a smooth transition of going back to school. But he did nothing. So the point is, there is money to be stolen because there's education budget that has to be stolen. Then the BBI rallies to happen. So they're using our kids as guinea pigs in the experiment. And our kids are super spreaders. So our kid will not get infected with COVID, but won't likely die. But kids are going to kill their parents. Because they're going to get infected, they bring it back to the community, bring it back to the teachers, and they bring it to their grandmother and grandfather. So they're going to actually end up killing people. Uhuru is saying we need to respect COVID measures, but he has no respect for those COVID measures himself.
Especially with the BBI.
The guy is all over with groups of people. These guys are selfish pricks. They want us to sacrifice and suffer, but they don't want to sacrifice and suffer. They want to have whiskey and meat and party while we suffer. Hawana aibu say. Now, wewe kama msikilizaji wa Bitalk Show, ya show mzuri sana. Niulize, unadhani ndio nakupenda? Kupendi.
Hata kidogo.
Unisikia wapi? Hawakupendi. The only person who loves you is God. Hao wengine achana nao. Even if your mother says they love you, just prove it. In this country, you need to test the love. Anyone says they love you, prove it, my friend.
Mama watoto lazima upime.
Wewe kwa shida.
Ndio mbaya zaidi.
Wewe sema hapana, nizingie kwa shida ndugu yangu na hapa nimeona hakuna vitanda.
Hapo utakuwa unasimama kama kivagio.
Na mbona nienda kwenye nirudi enda kwa hiyo show sasa, enda kupatia pale pa kulala.